But let me ask you, in all of these movements, the question of what's the right and proper role of allies in the white community in these circumstances? Because we have so much of a historical tendency to want to come in and commandeer and colonize every movement to our own way of understanding of how things work, and yet. We also probably don't need to just be on the sidelines. We have to figure out what's the right calibration of our engagement and involvement. What advice or counsel would you give?
Yeah, I used to say a lot. I say it less so now, but I'll say this about the movement for Black Lives specifically. Right?
Yes.
I said, what began, what was catalyzed in the Ferguson uprising was a multiracial, multicultural, multi-ethnic mobilization of people for Black lives, right? That was Black-led, youth-led, and in many cases queer-led, right?
Right.
But it was never all Black.
Right.
So the clarity here is that the movement itself has space for everybody if one is willing to follow young, Black, openly queer or LGBTQ leadership, right? So I say that to say, in that context, allyship is not actually required because you can be in, you don't have to be aside.
Okay,
right?
good.
You can be in if one is willing, and I think this gets to the advice to follow young Black leadership.
Good.
And I think we have remarkable examples of the power of that.
Great.
Of the power of that for all of us in these respective narratives. And so I think that's really the key piece is how can we orient ourselves to follow young Black, brown, queer leadership. If we're willing to do that, then I think we can transform this country into that which we articulated we desire it to be.